Just before launching my initiative of reconnecting families and communities in America, I visited my homeland of Serbia in pursuit of wisdom and examples of why is family and community so important. It was astonishing to witness that city after city we were running into community and family dining events. In some instances, a whole community will come out to cook and eat together.
Well, it just happened so that I ran into my school friend, and it turns out he's an amazing chef. And what is he doing? Chopping up garlic. When I tell you, Serbian people are really close to garlic, there's plenty of that going on right here.
So happy because so much people come in this town and around, so close in this city, and
mean to you personally? When you're here, how do you feel when you're in this group, everybody's cooking?
I'm happy very because today come so much friends I don't look every day.
See every day?
Yes.
Tell me about your soup. What you got in there? It doesn't look like a fish soup to me.
Cooker chef is black man.
Oh, it is.
This is chef,
What's going
not
on
me.
Here?
Come here, please. Come here. This is chef.
Some of these chefs are a little bit shy.
I'm physical man.
You're physical. It's just a labor, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
But it was very nice of you to give us your time and to share what this means to you. Thank you. And I hope that you continue to be part of such a gathering like this one.
Okay, thank you
very much.
And where there are good people and good food, there's going to be good music. We met so many wonderful people that day, but there was this particular group with a sign above their table that says Boulevard of Good Neighbors, who I was especially interested in. I wanted to find out what this boulevard was all about. Indeed, there was a very interesting story behind the sign, because there was a group of neighbors who decided to come together and make their neighborhood better for everyone.
Here to promote good neighbors and worldwide life, how to live with other neighbors.
With each other?
With each other, yes, of course.
I heard your father started something very interesting. You told me that you have decided to pave the street in your neighborhood, just three of you, and you wanted to make a neighborhood better for yourself. Tell me, why did make your father decide to do something like that?
Very important for every living person in our street.
So you obviously have a great example here. Your father is doing things beyond what's expected of him. Does that inspire you in any way?
Yes, it's quite inspiring because my father is a great man.
I just found out that our guest is also a doctor. He's a pathology doctor, and I was very curious to find out what is he noticing these days in regard to disease, and how could this relate to food and eating healthy, eating homemade meals in particular. So I'm going to ask him questions in Serbian and make sure that I translate them to you.
Considering your particular kind of work, could you tell us, please, if you are noticing a big difference in the health of today's youth and population in general? As you mentioned, by my profession, I'm a pathology doctor, and I do a lot of autopsies these days, and this is what I found out. By the way, this kind of information is seldom shared in a medical literature. For instance, when I do autopsy on people who are 60 years or older, I find that their blood vessels are still young and still in a good shape, versus when I do autopsies on younger generations, for instance, autopsies on people who are 30 or 40 years old, I find their blood vessels are in a lot worse shape than 70-year-old people. This is all due to kinds of foods that we all eat today and to the lifestyles we live. Again, food is a huge factor in all of this. Sadly, in order to achieve desired returns from grains, fruits, and vegetables, we are now starting to use more and more of GMO plants. Some will argue that this has no significant impact on human health. However, these are lies. I'm aware that what I'm sharing will not be supported by today's science and studies, but I'm not afraid to speak about it. I'm older now, and I can say what I want. 10 years ago, I could not speak so freely. We have also destroyed the family structure, along with the healthy and natural way of growing our food. Who in the world would go to the farmer's market and buy an apple with a worm in it? Nobody. You see, I live in town, yet I managed to grow my own orchard on my small parcel. Every year I get about 150 to 200 kilos of organic fruit, and I don't spray my fruits. Whatever I get, and that's that. Also, again, the strong family structure is destroyed. A family unit consisting of mother, father, sister, brother, and grandparents is very rare these days. Raising and education of our children is left in the hands of questionable organizations, institutions, and individuals. Most importantly, societies and families are losing Saturday and Sunday family meals. This was a time when mother would call the whole family to the table, and we all will run to spend time together and share a meal. This was the time when families were reconnecting, gathering, and they were forming the healthy spirit in a human being. Healthy spirit is the key. Because when your inner being is healthy, then you stop comparing yourself to others. And you stop worrying, why does your neighbor has a bigger house or a better car, or they take more vacations than you do. You are simply happy and content. And you stop to worry. And when you stop to worry, you're healthy. And when you're healthy, then there's no more worries about diseases. I mean, cancer, come on.
I so wish that you could hear this straight from his mouth, but I will make sure to translate every word. It's most interesting.
So after hearing all that you shared, can we make a conclusion that in order to stay healthy, one has to start with a healthy spirit? Just a healthy spirit. You had a chance to talk to my son about our boulevard, since my English is not the best. One of the TV stations came over to ask us for an interview, and I made a statement that I'm going to live 300 years. A lady who was interviewing me said, "How could you make such a statement? How can you say that you're going to live 300 years?" And I said, well, I made a decision to live 300 years, and that's what I'm going to do. Because I want to, I will do. But something like this takes effort. And you have to convince your family, your friends, your neighbors, your spouse to do the same thing with you, because you don't want to live alone for 300 years. So you see, the point is, whatever you want to do, you have to do it with other people, and you have to have other people to share it with. I mean, let's just look at this soup that we're cooking today. If you don't put yourself into making this dish will come out tasteless. And even if you make it good and you don't share it with somebody, it's going to be tasteless just as much. People need to understand that there's only one source of wealth from which we can continue to withdraw and still continue to make it even more abundant. And that's God's source of wealth. Therefore, we should draw from this spiritual wealth, and let's be closer to one another. We should hug one another. And let's hug one another, not because we want somebody, but because somebody is dear, because it pleases us to see that person. And because that person has a good soul, I want to hug somebody's soul, and I want to give my part of soul to that person. Love goes both ways. God loves us all equally and far more than we know it. So we should love Him back, and we should believe He will provide what we need and stop expecting more. People will often say, "Aren't you afraid of God?" Well, wait a minute. If I know I'm not going against God, why should I fear someone who loves me so much and I love him back? I'm so glad we met, and I'm thankful for what you just shared, because this is a huge encouragement to me to see other like-minded people. And this is encouraging me not just in my life and in my current work, but in my future work as well. Okay then, so let's start by reaching out to our neighbors by simple words like good day, good morning. And then within a few days you might start a longer conversation. And I'm telling you, within 10 days you might be having a cup of coffee with them, or maybe even inviting them over for barbecue. I promise you, as a result of that, your life will be so much richer. I couldn't agree more. I want a big hug from you. I'm so glad I met a person like you. You are such an encouragement to my soul. So from now, I'm going to keep an eye on what you're doing, and I'm going to keep an eye on your boulevard and see how your mission is progressing. Anytime, you're welcome to visit us anytime. Thank you for watching, and I hope that we all learn an important lesson from all of this. To find out more about my charitable organization and its initiative to help reconnect families and communities in America, please visit us at VLADA'S.com. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.